Recharge. This is Cooking with Mandy, and I'm Mandy. You may have gotten some rhubarb in your CSA basket this week, so we're going to talk a little bit about rhubarb. It looks like red celery, but it's not. It does not taste anything like celery. It's actually very tart. It's the kind of tart that dries out your mouth, so I wouldn't recommend just biting into it. Not very good. It's actually, if you were to break it in half or cut it in half, it almost smells like an unripe pear. So it kind of gives you that feeling of what it's going to be like. So what we're going to do with the rhubarb is we're going to make a flatbread. Welcome to Recharge. This is Cooking with Mandy, and I'm Mandy. You may have gotten some rhubarb in your CSA basket this week, so we're going to talk a little bit about rhubarb. It looks like red celery, but it's not. It does not taste anything like celery. It's actually very tart. It's the kind of tart that dries out your mouth, so I wouldn't recommend just biting into it. Not very good. It's actually, if you were to break it in half or cut it in half, it almost smells like an unripe pear. So it kind of gives you that feeling of what it's going to be like. So what we're going to do with the rhubarb is we're going to make a flatbread. Because rhubarb is so tart, it needs some kind of sweetness to balance out the tart. So any kind of balsamic vinegar will do. I roasted it in the oven in a glass baking dish, and the reason I use glass is because rhubarb tends to react with metal and turn a brownish gray, and nobody wants to eat gray vegetables. So if you bake it in something glass or enamel coated, it'll keep its red color. So first, we're going to spread some goat cheese onto our flatbread here. And we're going to season the goat cheese with a little bit of, add some salt and pepper in here and fresh scallion or chives, whatever you have on hand. And we'll just cut off the bottom there. I'm just going to mince it up very finely. If you got chives in your CSA basket, you can use those instead. And I'm just going to mix it up. You want to let your goat cheese come to room temperature before you start mixing things into it. That's why it can be spreadable. Otherwise, if you try to mix things into it straight out of the refrigerator, it's going to be one hard block of cheese. So we're going to just mix this up. And you can see it's all mixed up in here, and we're just going to spread a thin layer of it onto our flatbread. And this flatbread I just bought from the store. You can buy pre-made ones, or if you want to make your own pizza dough and bake it off first, you can do that. This is just a simple way. I'm just going to spread it all around. It's getting a little clumpy. You can put as much or as little as you want on here. Just spread it all the way to the edges. And then we're going to top it with our balsamic roasted rhubarb. So when I roasted the rhubarb, like mentioned, I put balsamic vinegar on it. And there's also a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper. So I'm just going to place some of the rhubarb around, just scattering it. And then see all that roasting juices in there. We're actually going to pour that on top as well because there's a lot of that sweetness from the balsamic in there. And we'll pour that on at the end. Okay, so now we're going to top it off with our watercress. You can, if your CSA basket came with arugula, you could use that too. Both are some delicate greens. I just rinsed it off, spun it in my salad spinner so it's nice and dry. And we're just going to scatter the leaves across the top. Doesn't have to be a lot, but hopefully it looks pretty. We put a lot of cream. So now we have our watercress. And then we're going to pour those roasting juices on top as well. Just all over. And if you want to finish off with a little more salt and pepper or extra virgin olive oil, you can do that too. And there you have your roasted balsamic flatbread. This was Cooking with Mandy at Recharge. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week for another episode of What's in Your CSA Basket.